Oh shit. Here we go again.
I will never, ever in my life, ever watch another Jake Paul fight again. Not that I did before, but the only reason why I watched it is because it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that was the only really thing on sporting wise that night. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll put it on, I'll tune in just to see, because I thought, maybe it would be a fair fight and we get to see, Tyson one last hoorah for Tyson and see him, ride off into the sunset with at least having given a decent performance. But my God, was I sorely mistaken.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Conversation with Cozy and Murph. A little bit different intro for us today. Been a couple weeks, but we're back at it. I want to jump right in and talk about this Kentucky basketball team and the season that they're having this early in the year. Big win against Duke. Huge win, 77-72. How you feel, Murph? Check in.
I'm feeling riding high right now on the Kentucky hype. I think Mark Pope vindicated himself against Duke with that performance. First half was a little shaky. The defense wasn't really performing the way we would like it to. It comes out in the second half, and it was like a completely different team almost. We came back down like 8, I think, at halftime or 9, and it was a coaching clinic. I mean, he outcoached Jon Scheyer in the second half, and it answered a lot of question marks for a lot of people heading into this season. What kind of coach is Mark Pope going to be for us, and is he going to be able to handle the pressure and handle the hype? And it doesn't get bigger than that. Kentucky versus Duke in the Champions Classic, and he rose to the occasion. I'll give him all the props, and I think, like I said, he validated himself. And not only that, but having a brand new roster, the players rose to the occasion. I think that's the difference between having a bunch of freshmen out there and having an experienced team. I think they said the youngest starter for Kentucky in that game was 21, and the oldest starter for Duke in that game was 21. So it does make a difference having that experience, even though there wasn't a lot of chemistry to start with. But on the flip side of that, I got to give Cooper Flagg his props as well. I mean, he showed out. He had a hell of a game. That kid's going to be a freaking problem for the rest of the season. And odds are that he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft as well. So, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention that.
Yeah.
So,
you guys got some dogs on your team, too.
Right. We got and we got guys that want to buy in and play for the program instead of playing to get to the next level.
Yeah.
They just want to win games, it seems like, and they want to play for each other.
Yeah.
Instead of, I got to get my stats.
Yeah.
I got to get mine. That way I look good on draft night. It's like, well, that's what I love about the whole vibe of Mark Pope is he's a program builder.
Yeah.
And it's such a breath of fresh air coming from Calipari to Mark Pope is like, Calipari, he's going to get the guys to the next level. That's what he does. I mean, he's probably the best ever at doing that. But that's not what Kentucky basketball is about. Kentucky's about winning college basketball games, not putting guys in the pros. So, we just played Lipscomb 2 nights ago. We beat them pretty handily, 97-68. All of our guys looked good. I mean, there's not really much to talk about on that game other than the fact that we just looked like a well-oiled machine. So I'm pretty excited about the rest of the season. Gotta admit.
You guys score a lot of points. You're 10th in the country in points per game. I know it's still early. Obviously, we've only played 4 games, but 10th in the country in points per game, 8th in the country in rebounds per game, top 20 in assists per game, and you can tell just comparative to years past under Calipari to Pope, that Duke game, you guys lose. Like
Oh,
by
10
8,
out of
9, 10
10.
points. Yeah.
10 times out of 10, Kentucky Calipari loses that game.
Yeah. And I feel like that was the vibe too. Like you guys were like, fuck, it's over. You know, especially going into halftime, you're like so used to Calipari in these games that I feel like the conversation was like, we always lose these games.
Well,
you know?
I feel like it depends on if you're a Cal Dick Rider or if you were like a Hope and Pope guy, because I've always been a Hope and Pope type dude. So like I had a lot of hope and a lot of faith that we would come back and win that game. We weren't. I mean, we didn't play the greatest in this first half, but we were by no means outplayed or outcoached in the first half. It was just figuring out what we needed to tweak in the second half, and that was the biggest thing for me is Calipari does not make second half adjustments. He just tells the guys, go out there, play hard, and play the way you play. And Pope is like the exact opposite. It's like we have a plan. We have seen what they're going to do. We know their tendencies, and we're just going to play to that. We're going to play into that and let them beat themselves. And that's exactly what they did in the last 3 possessions. They knew they were going to isolate with Cooper Flagg, and he knew just play head-to-head defense and be ready to help. And you see what happened. We forced 2 turnovers in the last 3 possessions and got the dub, and it was awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely a note to be said for having some older experience. I always thought that was lacking on the UK teams, and I know you brought that up, being older and having some basketball experience and understanding like I don't know everything. I got to listen to my coach. He's going to make the right call. Got to trust it, trust the system, trust the offense, trust the defense. And it's showing so far. You guys got Jackson State, Western Kentucky, Georgia State to close out this month. I wouldn't be shocked you guys roll into SEC play. I mean, you guys rolling to January, you could be undefeated, 1 loss. You got a big game against Louisville.
No, well, Gonzaga is one that really worries me.
Gonzaga's a good team.
But we'll see what happens. That they have a good coach too. I mean, Mark Few, he's been coaching there for years, and he always has good teams every year. So we'll see how it goes. But as of right now, I'm elated with the way that things are going right now with Kentucky.
It is. It's basketball season there in Kentucky.
And the way my football teams are playing right now, I need Kentucky basketball to play well. So,
well, speaking of football, let's break it down into it. I know we didn't really get to catch last week. We, as always, watched our football games and pushed on with our lives. We had some big games in week 11. We got week 12 closing in on us now. Let's jump back and go over some highlights of the week 11 standouts. I kind of took some notes, but feel free to kind of dictate and pull away however you look. The Thursday night game was a big one for the NFC East division. Philadelphia handily puts the reins on the Commanders. Commanders were in control of this game for the most part, all the way up until that fourth quarter, and gave up 20 points to blow it. I want to ask this. Do you think Commanders make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they make the playoffs. I don't think there's a lot of good teams outside of the division winners in the NFC.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the Vikings, who else has a winning record in the NFC that's really scary? Like has a better record than the Commanders.
As it stands right now, the Commanders are the 7 seed, the Rams being the 8 seed. Seahawks. Well, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, all being tied for 8 at 5-5.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as they continue to take care of business, and if they can win this week against Dallas, that'll be huge. But yeah, I mean, the NFC North is really the only thing that gives me concern about keeping the Commanders out, because you've got the Packers and the Vikings as well, and Detroit's probably going to win that division. So there's two teams right there that could sneak their way in.
Yeah.
And AFC or the NFC West they're kind of like the NFC South. They're kind of trash, if you think about it. I mean, Arizona's good, but the 49ers have been underwhelming.
Yeah.
The Seahawks are up and down each week. I mean, and the Rams, same thing, up and down, inconsistent. So I don't know. I think the Commanders could definitely make the playoffs, though, for sure.
Yeah, fair. I think so too, and I'm happy for Philly to
6 in a row.
6 in a row. We're playing really well right now. As the skeptic in me, I worry that we're getting too hot too early, but it's football. I'll take it. I'll take it as I can get it each week.
Got to take the wins. Yeah, you got to take the wins, because you never know when they're gonna fall off.
Yeah, there was a big NFC North game this past weekend. It was the Packers going into Chicago to play the Bears, blocking the field goal at the end to pull away another victory. I don't think the Bears are going. I think they'll probably sneak a couple more wins. Might end up at 7 wins. I don't think they're going to be really in contention at the end here. But I don't know what it is about the Packers, but I don't even think they're that good, for real. I'm starting to turn away from Jordan Love a little bit.
Yeah, he's had some subpar performances these past few weeks. I don't think he's fully healthy.
Yeah.
And also I don't know that, like I said, that might play into some of his decision making and his confidence. But they got the win.
Yeah.
Didn't play great, and that's a good thing, though. Whenever you don't play great and you're still able to win, that's a good sign that you have a decent team. I mean, I think they've got some playmakers, man. I mean, Christian Watson, Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, Jalen Reed, Romeo Dobbs. I mean, it's not like they don't have weapons, and their defense is a lot better than it was last year. Now, I think Love might have been overpaid. I think that's fair to say. Yeah. I don't know that he is an elite quarterback at this point. Not to say that he doesn't have the skill set to be, but as of right now, he's getting the job done, and I think that probably has a lot to do with Matt LaFleur and his coaching, his offensive philosophy. And on the flip side of that, the Bears' biggest problem is their coaching. Matt Eberflus just finds a way to piss away games that they should win, like week in and week out. There's no way that he makes it through the offseason. I think he'll probably be one of the, as soon as the season's over, he'll get the rest of this season just on principle, but as soon as the last game's over, he's going to be on the chopping block. He'll be one of the first people to pack his things out of the building, because that's just inexcusable, the talent that they have. And I know they have a rookie quarterback, but I mean, hell, look at the way the Broncos and the Commanders are playing. That's not an excuse. Yeah. Especially when you have the playmakers around him to make a difference. So, and the defense is decent. Bears defense is decent. You hold somebody to 20 points, you expect to win that game. Yeah. Especially with your offense that you have. So I feel like the problem is Matt Eberflus, and I just feel like he's gone after this year.
Yeah. There's a bunch of coaches on the chopping block, I think. I'm surprised Doug Peterson still has a job, which rightfully they got wiped by what seems to be the best team.
This is probably the biggest ass whooping you're going to see all year in the NFL. 52-6, Lions beat the Jaguars. and it was just an absolute rout from the very beginning. I mean, the Jags went up 3-0 in the very beginning of the first quarter, and after that, it was just an absolute curb stomping. They had what was it, like 600 yards of offense or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like what we got. 412
Lions-
passing. Another.
I mean, they just did
75.
whatever they wanted to. There was the Jaguars had no answer for them. So I mean, I think it goes without saying Doug Peterson's done. Jaguars have given up on this season, and they need to. They got to figure some stuff out. I feel bad for Jaguars fans because that's like one of the. I feel like that's one of the more loyal fan bases out there because they've been through fucking hell. Them and the Bears, and I mean, there's several fan bases out there that are just like hella loyal, and Jags are one of them. Just because, that's the only sport, that's the only team they have in Jacksonville. So I mean, they have to kind of root for that team. So, man, it was ugly though. It was like one of the college beatdowns where you got like Alabama versus Colgate or
I was about to say Colgate.
Louisiana Lafayette or whatever.
Yeah,
And it's just
USF or something. Yeah, it was ugly. Lions roll. I think they are like I see now they're the Super Bowl favorites, but I think it plays that they look like the best team in football, just far down, hands and away. Like especially if they had Aiden Hutchinson, oh my god! But they don't have him, and they're still disgusting.
Well, they're the odds-on favorite to win now. They have the lowest or whatever you want to say, best chance to win it.
Best Super Bowl.
They passed the Chiefs this week. They did lose that Anzalone, the linebacker. He broke his arm. He's probably gonna be out for the rest of the season. So that's something to watch out for. But
stick him in a cast like they used to. Just put him out on the field.
Shit.
Fucking like this, bro.
The big ass club.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's even allowed anymore. Fucking weapon on your arm. I don't know that I have much to say about the Vikings-Titans game. Wasn't much of a takeaway there. Vikings rolling on 8-2. Sam Darnold. That's their third straight win. Titans, they're also in purgatory. You got anything on that one? I don't really have much on that.
No. Will Levis, I don't think he's got a future in Tennessee. I feel like I don't see anything there to build on. I mean, I know he's got a good arm and stuff, but I don't think his decision making's there. I don't think he can read a defense really. Yeah.
He's like Carson Wentz after he came back from getting hurt. Just tries to do too much and throws the ball over everybody's fucking head.
He did have one 99-yard touchdown pass though.
Yeah, that was a broken play, but it is what it is. The Raiders Dolphins played. Dolphins get back on the winning track. Tua's been hot in his return. He's been lighting it up. 3 touchdowns. They're kind of putting themselves in position to at least make a wild card push back to 4-6. A-Chain looks good. Raiders, I don't think they have a bright future unless they go out and draft the quarterback of the future. But that boy Brock Bowers is legit, bro.
Yeah, they've got a piece in him. He's gonna be a mainstay for that offense moving forward. But I mean, you can't really build around the tight end. You have to have a quarterback.
Yeah,
and that's probably what they're going to go out and get in this draft. They're talking about maybe Shadur Sanders if he's there. I could see that.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants move up and go get him. Yeah, I don't even know who else is NFL ready. Dylan Gabriel maybe. I don't even know if Beck's ready. Jalen Milroe, don't know if he's NFL ready.
Yeah, I don't think this will be a deep class like this past year when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll see him. I don't know who's all quarterback free agents this year either, but I'm gonna look that up. Quarterback free agents 2025. Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Jacoby Brissett, Mac Jones, and Jameis Winston, and Aaron
Go ahead
Rodgers.
and get Justin Fields.
Yeah,
I feel like he's proved himself to be at least a decent starter. He's not gonna do anything spectacular, but he's at least serviceable. You can put him out there, and he's gonna at least give you a chance to win. I just feel like Gardner Minshew. There's too much film on him. He's been everywhere. He's played everywhere.
Yeah.
He's played in a lot of places. Played a lot of football in the NFL, and defenses have just figured him out, and they know how to play him.
Yeah, poor Gardner. I think he's meant to be a backup. He's just a serviceable quarterback. It's just not over 4 quarters. It doesn't work as well. I feel like the Steelers are going to pay Justin Fields and keep him just until Russ is done, and then just roll him out there. That's what I would do at least. But we'll see. Rams go into New England. The Rams going to New England. Stafford throws for 4 touchdowns. Got 2 to Kupp, 2 to Nakua, or 1 to Nakua, and pull away a victory. I feel like the Patriots are in every game. I think Drake May's going to be a pretty good quarterback.
They're competitive at least. They're competitive. They're like the best bad team in football. And a lot of times it feels like they don't. I mean, they don't want to win because they're trying to get a draft pick. Like they know they're not going to be able to compete in the division right now with the Bills and the Dolphins. So it feels like keep it competitive, but ultimately lose the game. That way we can get a better draft position.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford showing he still got it. He's slinging the ball everywhere. Puka Nakua, man, I feel like if you put it in his vicinity, he's gonna snag it. He doesn't drop very many balls at all, man. And it's wild to watch because it's like before every play, if he goes in motion, I'm like, yep, they're gonna throw it to Puka Nakua. If he goes in any motion at all, I'm like, they're looking to hit him. And then you got Cooper Kupp on the other side, and it's like, man, that's a quarterback's freaking wet dream right there. Having 2 receivers like that you can throw to at any time.
Good for Stafford. First ballot Hall of Famer, and still putting it up. As long as he wants to play quarterback, the Rams need to keep him because he can still sling it. And I feel like he can still do it.
He's still got it, man.
Yeah.
Even at he's like 30. What is he, like 38?
Is Stafford age? Matt Stafford is 36, yeah.
36, so he'll be 37 next year.
Yeah. He could definitely do it for like...
He can still play another
3-4
couple years.
Yeah. He could definitely still sling it while they bring in somebody, lean him
Watch
up.
him go to the Jets or something.
I don't even know how much longer he's under contract. We're breaking into all kinds of weird things here. Let's keep it moving. We'll do Browns. Go to New Orleans. Jameis Winston return to Louisiana. Jameis Winston put on a show, 30 of 46 for 395, just not enough. It was more or less the Taysom Hill game. Taysom Hill for 7 carries, 138.
Their defense really let them down. Taysom Hill went the fuck off. It was crazy. 7 carries for 138 yards. It's like, somebody please tackle the man.
He had 42.5 fantasy points.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I would hate to be the guy who played him because I'd be like, or he was probably on most people's bench, to be honest with you. And then he had 40 points. You're like, what the fuck? And then he will not do it again for the rest of the season. He might have 2 points for the rest of the season.
He'll start him next week, and he'll have like 3. And you're like, son of a bitch. Fuck fantasy football, matter of fact. I don't even want to get into that.
Yeah, it's painful sometimes.
Lord. But Saints find a way. Back-to-back wins, 2 in a row. 4-7. They're not completely out of it because your division can't seem to figure out who wants to be the leader here.
We all suck. They all suck.
Pack a punch.
Every team in the division is terrible.
The Bucks get Mike Evans back.
I was gonna say if the Bucks could stay healthy, they'd probably be the best team in the
Running away with it.
But we've got the tiebreaker with them because Atlanta's beat them twice. So
yeah. At this rate right now, Atlanta's the 4 seed, so we'll see how things wrap up there. All right, Anthony Richardson returns for the Indianapolis Colts after his benching hiatus for quitting on the team, and pulls out a 28-27 victory. I seen somewhere it said Anthony Richardson before every drive spins a roulette wheel, and the only two options on it are Lamar Jackson, and the other option was just some shit quarterback. It's like you never know which one it's 50-50 shot. It's either like badass or ass.
I think he's getting better. I think he's making progress. I feel like he is one of the few guys that started off terrible this year and has actually made strides in the better direction.
Yeah.
He's just got absolute cannon on him, and it's like he can throw the ball. He can make any throw on the field at any time. Like I can't remember what play it was, but he was rolling to his left, and he turns and throws it across the field to the opposite hash numbers. And I'm like, that is like in the air, that's like a 50-yard throw. And it was like on the money dot, but it was just into double coverage, The receiver was there, but he just threw it into double coverage and it was batted down. So it's like, if he's got the confidence to at least throw that ball.
Yeah.
I mean, not many guys have got an arm that
no.
If he can hone it in and learn how to put a little bit of touch on it and become more accurate, he's going to be dangerous because he can use his legs as well.
Yeah, and the Colts aren't completely out of it. They're in striking position for wild card positioning. I think the closest team ahead of them is Denver. I mean, Denver's been playing really good. They're 6-5, but they're not completely out of it. Now the Jets. If you're the Jets, what do you do? Or do you just stay in? Yeah, do you just stay in purgatory forever? Because even if you blow it up,
no. They fired their GM Joe Douglas this week. I think they're in the process of just completely overhauling this roster, this team. I mean, you have to. You got a quarterback that's obviously washed. You've got no coaching staff to speak of. I mean, you got the Ulbrich guy, but outside of him, you already fired your head coach. You fired your GM. You really don't have anybody to build around except for Garrett Wilson and Quinnen Williams and Breece Hall. So you've got some young players to build around, but outside of those three and maybe Sauce Gardner, outside of those four, I think you just get rid of everybody.
Yeah.
And just suck for 2-3 years and build it from the ground up. I feel like that's the only option for the Jets. You're not going to get, there's nothing to salvage here. Yeah. Your window was like 2 years ago when you drafted Zach Wilson, and then Zach Wilson ended up sucking. And so then you sign Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. He tears his Achilles. I mean, it's just terrible luck, but at the end of the day, there's nothing there. I'm done with the Jets. I've done everybody having this conversation about where the Jets can. Fuck the Jets. They're not going to do anything unless they blow it up and just suck for a few more years. I mean, they suck now, but imagine if they keep on trying to cling to this hope that maybe we can make the playoffs. Like, just blow it up.
Blow it up. And they've been a favorite, I feel like, every week. Are they a
favorite? Yes, every week they're a favorite. And it's like, how? Sometimes they cover, but most of the time they don't.
They're on bye this week, but yeah, no, they've been favorites in every game. And it's just like, dude, at some point, come on. They got the Seahawks next, I think, so.
No way they're favored in that game.
If they are, that'd be
no fucking way.
Asinine, Lord. All right, Jets, blow it up. All right, we got a big divisional game, which was the Ravens going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And Russell Wilson, undefeated as a Steeler, pulls one out, takes over a commanding lead over the division, the AFC North division. Steelers might be, they're Their defense is Super Bowl caliber. Like
Well,
Super
yeah,
Bowl
I've
winning
said
caliber.
that. I said that since week 1 against
Yeah.
when they beat Atlanta. I said that's a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Yeah.
TJ Watt is the heart and soul of that defense, and he is an absolute game wrecker. Like, you just can't do anything with him. He's gonna be in the backfield every time he's on the field. He's gonna be in the backfield wreaking havoc in some way, shape, or form. And they have one of the best secondaries. They're just the complete unit. And on top of that, they've got Mike Tomlin, who is arguably the best coach in the league right now. Maybe besides Andy Reid. And, I mean, really, that's it. Though you think about it, I mean, Andy Reid and then Mike Tomlin. I mean, nobody comes out more prepared, I feel like, than Mike Tomlin. And he's always got his team in the game. They never get blown out. That's the one thing. Even when they lose games, it's always a very close game. And that's because the way their philosophy as a football team is play good defense, run the ball, play ball control, kick the field goal, take the points, because you know your defense is going to get a stop. So, pretty simple formula, and it works.
It works. And I still think the Ravens are a very good team, but I think there is a blueprint out there. Slow them down, slow down the run game, make Lamar sit in the pocket, don't let him escape, which is, I mean, harder to do than, to say, obviously, but that the blueprint's there, and the Steelers have the right pieces to do exactly that. And imagine the Steelers offense played up to like a, fucking B+ game. It's probably at least a 28-16.
That's the only thing that's the downfall of the Steelers is their offense is does not put up points.
Yeah.
But when you have a defense that can get stops and force turnovers the way that their defense can, then it's okay. But at a certain point, you're going to have to score, 30 points, 35 points. I don't know that they have this year.
I don't think they did when they lost the game with Justin Fields. It was like 35-38.
Okay, they scored 37 against the Jets.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, though.
Yeah.
That's the only time, and they scored 32 against the Raiders.
That's the one I'm thinking.
That's the only 2 games they've scored over 30 points. Yeah. So they lost to the Colts and the Cowboys. How does that make any sense?
Must have been. I can't. The Cowboys game was with Fields, and so was the Colts game. Yeah, because Steelers is. I don't know, but Steelers are a force to be reckoned with as it sits right now. They're the 3 seed, and they are projected to play the 6 seed, which is Baltimore. So at this rate, we might get a rematch of that exact game right there.
Well, they still have another game to play.
Yep, they do, and the Ravens still got to play the Chargers this weekend. They got to play the Steelers again. I want to say the Steelers got another tough matchup too, but we'll save that for another time. Let's talk about one of your football teams. I don't even think there's much to say. What's going on?
There's nothing to fucking talk about. I mean, we suck. Our defense sucks. We get no pressure on the quarterback. We've got 10 sacks through 11 games. How the fuck does that make any sense? It's impossible to play defense when you don't get any pressure on the quarterback. Like, it's just it doesn't matter who you've got in the secondary. If the quarterback can just sit back there all day and pick apart the defense, then you're going to give up 38 points. And offensively, I don't know what the fuck's going on. We need to ride Bijan. That's all I can say is just ride him. He needs to be getting the ball 20, 25 times a game and live off play action, because I don't know what that was on Sunday. I don't know what the plan was. I'm fucking done with Kyle Pitts. He's fucking garbage. Get him off my team. Get him off my fantasy team. I'm done with him. I'm done with his ass. Like, just get him out of here. I like Drake London. Yeah. And I like Darnell Mooney and even Ray McLeod.
Yeah.
But fucking that man, Kyle Pitts, I don't know what the deal is with him. And, Kirk, Kirk's gonna Kirk. He's gonna have a couple stinkers. That's just it's what he's been his entire career. He'll play up to MVP caliber and all the way down to fucking third string caliber too. So it's like when you're that inconsistent on both ends of the ball, it's kind of hard to say, what you're gonna get each Sunday. And right now, we've had some incredible wins, but we've had some fucking terrible losses.
Yeah.
Well, we lost to the Seahawks a couple of weeks ago. Shouldn't have lost that game. We lost to the Saints, a terrible football team. Fucking never, and an interim coach never should have lost that game. And then we come out and throw an absolute stinker against the Broncos on the road, 38-6. Can't even put up 10 points. So that was a pathetic performance. Props to the Broncos. Like I said at the beginning of the year, I was giving Bo Nix his flowers. I said we're going to look back at the end of this year and we could be talking about Rookie of the Year. And lo and behold, through 11 weeks, he is a front runner. Maybe behind. He might be slightly behind Jaden Daniels, but I'd say he's got more touchdown passes. It's about the same amount of yards.
Yeah.
So Bo Nix looks really good through 11 weeks. And their defense is incredible, I feel like.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are a team that I'd be leery to face off against if I was any team looking at trying to make it to the playoffs. The Broncos are going to give you hell defensively. And then if you give Bo Nix that time, and he showed it against the Falcons, you give Bo Nix time, it's when you really get pressure. But it's just the same for all young quarterbacks and new guys in the league. If you get pressure on them, they'll move their feet and make a mistake.
You got to speed them up. That's the only way to test them.
Yeah.
I think, and it just goes back to coaching. I mean, Sean Payton, another conversation of one of the better coaches in the league. I'll throw him in there with Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid, and then we've got Raheem Morris, who's first year head coach for the Falcons. And I mean, it was just obvious he didn't have his team ready to play, and it shows on the field.
Yeah, fair. Well, here's another good coach, Kyle Shanahan, losing 49ers.
49ers are in trouble.
49ers. I seen a video, I think I sent it to you, of a breakdown of Shanahan's offense and not being able to make reads. Did you watch that video?
Yeah, because they have a built-in hot read. Instead of allowing the quarterback to change the protection at the line, he just has an automatic hot read and where the ball has to go pretty much. So yeah, I mean that's like a fatal flaw in his offense. Not I mean, I can understand if you got a rookie quarterback that hasn't played that much football, but I mean Brock Purdy's in year 3. He went to the NFC Championship his first year and then went to the Super Bowl last year. Yeah. So it's like at some point you gotta be able to trust him. But the way that video described it, it sounded like that was just in all of his offenses, even like back with Matt Ryan. So
yeah. Which
I think that's part of the necessity of evolution as a coach is you have to be able to evolve and change your philosophy with the times. It works up until a certain point, but once the defense figures out what you're doing, you have to be able to switch it up and give control. I feel like you have to give control over to the quarterback and trust him to make the right decision. So, I mean, they're in trouble though. They don't look like a team like the team they have been the last 2-3 years. I know they're missing Greg Kittle or George Kittle, but still, they should have won that game, really.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey,
let Geno go right down the field at the end.
Yeah, yeah. Their defense really let them down. Seahawks, they're a team I would put under scrappy. Yeah, they're not gonna quit. Geno's never gonna quit, and they're never gonna be out. They're never gonna be out of scoring or like out of,
put out of what
contention. They're always gonna. They're always right. They're always gonna believe they have a chance. They're a scrappy team.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're 5-5. Niners are 5-5. Rams are 5-5. So
That's
that conference or that division is very jumbled up. It's very crowded.
yeah.
I
It's
think
very tough.
it'd be cool to see the Cardinals win that division. Honestly,
Yeah, I'd love to see the Cardinals pull something off, especially in their second year under.
yeah, they're 6-4.
Yeah, and the rest of the division's 5-5. It'll be tough all the way down the stretch here. It could be anybody out of that division. But we also did have a huge matchup of two of the AFC front runners. The Chiefs go to Buffalo to play the Bills. Josh Allen and the boys knock off the undefeated Chiefs and end the perfect season. I feel like it's only fitting. Josh Allen does it under the season that he's having. Even furthermore, kind of pushes the MVP conversation ahead. Like that, people will look back and look at that last run he had as like
Very gutsy. It's a gutsy
very
call.
gutsy call, and just what a guy Josh Allen is. Fuck the Chiefs. Matter of fact. They do get Pacheco back this week. He's coming back off IR. I'm sure they'll do like
I
a
think
split
this
set.
was actually best case scenario for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, now they have the pressure. They don't have the pressure of being undefeated. They get, they get humbled on the road. They get shown that they are not invincible.
Yeah.
Now they get their number one back. And it's just like, I know they got beat, but they were still in it there at the very end. I mean, they were still in it to the very end. So this is one of those games where, like you said, Josh Allen just kind of willed the Bills to the victory. And he was just absolutely incredible for 4 quarters and was able to score enough points to keep the Chiefs at bay. And this could very well be our AFC Championship game. You never know. They're definitely going to see each other again. So at some point this season,
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited for it, and I'm
happy
for Josh Allen.
I mean, it's great. It's a great win for the Bills, and we've seen it before in the past. Though the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season and then lose in the postseason. So hopefully, they can pull it off in the postseason. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't necessarily think this hurts the Chiefs whatsoever. I think it kind of even gives them more confidence going in, knowing that, hey, now we don't have to worry about being 10-0, 11-0. Like, we can just go out there and play football and win games.
Yeah.
Hey, and that Chiefs defense is going to be very pissed off. I feel sorry for whoever they play next because I think they said they haven't given up 28 points since 2022 or something like that. So like 2 years they haven't given up 28 points, and so they're gonna be ready to shut whoever they play.
They got the Panthers this week.
Oh yeah, it's over. Bryce Young's gonna die.
It's over. Of course, it's the Panthers, bro. What? Who the Bills got? Bills got. They on bye this week, I think. Yeah, they're on bye. Josh Allen's on bye. Lord. All right. Let's talk about the Sunday night game. The Bengals, man. The poor Bengals. Poor Joe Burrow. He'd probably be MVP frontrunner if they were even above 500.
Yeah, if they were 500,
he'd
probably be in the MVP conversation. It's just one of those years. And Matt Ryan had plenty of those years where he would throw for, 4,800, 4,500 yards and 20 touchdowns and 7 picks. And somehow the Falcons would be like 6-12 or whatever, or 6-11, 6-10. So it's like, I can sympathize with the Bengals fans because I've been through a season like this where you have a good team, you have a decent roster, but you just don't win football games for whatever reason. It's mostly on the defense, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just
a lot to give up.
But they give up. They just give up too much. I feel like big third downs. They give up a lot of third downs. They don't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I mean,
I want to read this real quick. It says, Through the first 11 games on the 4-7 Bengals, Joe Burrow has thrown for 3,028 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Players to achieve 3,000 plus passing yards, 27 plus touchdowns, and 5 or fewer interceptions through the first 11 games, along with their team's final records. Ready? Tom Brady, 2007 and 2015, when the team went 16-0 and 13-3. Aaron Rodgers, 2011, 2020, 15-1, 13-3. Patrick Mahomes, 2020, 14-2. Drew Brees, 2018, 13-3.
Well, that tells you that they're just historically bad football
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Or
This
that they're
is
going to
like-
wind up 10-7.
Yeah,
know?
10-7. That's right. We'll see what happens. The Bengals, they really realistically have to win out. I think
Oh, they have to even sniff, playoffs. When you look at that division, I mean, it's so good. Except outside of the Browns, obviously they're going to finish ahead of the Browns. I feel like,
Yeah.
but Pittsburgh
You'd have
and
to
Baltimore.
catch Denver. You'd have to catch Denver. That's it. 6-5, which I guess realistically they're not too far out, but 2 games. Well, yeah, 1, 2.
We'll see how it shakes out. I think the Chargers are legit though. I think Harbaugh made all the difference right in LA Chargers.
Big ups to the Chargers.
You can tell they play with
great.
confidence now. Herbert, it feels like he plays with confidence now, even though he doesn't really have a big time weapon. He doesn't have like a big time receiver on the roster, but it just feels like he has the support of the coach, and he's not like playing scared out there.
Yeah, playing in spite of the coach. Yeah, no. At this rate, I would say Harbaugh should be up for Coach of the Year, being the fact that they're 7-3, the turnaround that they had as an entire organization, being a front runner, being in position to make the playoffs. I'd say he's top 3 Coach of the Year. Good for him. Good for the Chargers. I mean, I'm not a Bengals guy, but I pull for the Bengals because my people pull for the Bengals. But to see the Chargers and everything that they've been through in the past couple of years and the shit organization it was and the ups and downs they went through, Phillip Rivers, and figuring out what they're going to do with the future, good for them. Good for them. Good Sunday night game, though. That was a bang.
Yeah, it was. It looked like it was going to be a blowout there for a while, but then second half, the Bengals came out and put their hair on fire and was able to make it a game.
Was a good fucking game. If you missed it, sorry, folks. You missed a banger. All right, let's talk Monday night. The last game of this last weekend slate was the Texans going to Dallas to put it on the fucking Cowboys. Joe Mixon, prime time, 3 tutties, put it on them. Cooper Rush threw for 350, but Cowboys are in fucking purgatory. And we talked about this. We texted. Jerry Jones is a bum, and I don't think they'll be good until he dies.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to relinquish control. He's not going to give up any sort of managerial, power. It's all until he is just too old and too feeble to walk or speak. He's going to continue to have a firm grip on roster and coaching decisions. And they're going to continue to be mediocre. I feel like they have one of the best rosters on paper.
Yeah.
They just they made Dak the highest paid quarterback in history. They've got CeeDee Lamb, who is one of the best receivers in the league. They've got Micah Parsons, who's one of the best defensive players in the league.
They got another linebacker that's gross too. What's his name?
So it's not like they don't have dudes. They've got dudes. But just, I don't know, man. They suck this year.
Yeah.
And it's like so disappointing for Cowboys fans. I mean, I don't know. I don't even revel in the fact that they suck anymore. Like 5 years ago, I would have been fucking hooting and hollering like, hell yeah, the Cowboys suck. But now it's just like sad. It's like, it's not even fun to hate you anymore,
It's like, it used to be cool to hate you. Now it's just like pitiful.
Now I feel like a bully.
Yeah. Fucking ass. Sorry, Cowboys. Go Birds. Hillbirds. Texans look good. Back on track. I still think their offensive passing protection is very sketchy,
Oh
but
yeah, it's sus as fuck.
yeah, I feel
But
for.
the run blocking is pretty good. Joe
Yeah,
Mixon's a beast, man.
yeah. It looks like UK.
I mean, they got Nico Collins back. That was big.
Yeah, that was big.
So they're getting healthy.
Yeah,
Their defense played pretty well. Forced a turnover. They scored a touchdown actually.
yeah.
I know that because I was playing them in fantasy and I needed them to not do well, and they scored like 28 points.
See, fantasy pisses me off. I don't even. It's whatever. Fuck football. Matter of fact, I'm down on football.
Yeah, I'm
down
right
on
there with
football
you.
right now. All right, let's do our picks real quick. We'll run through week 12. We got a game tonight. So everybody that's listening, I'm sure you'll hear that I think we're both on the Steelers here, yeah. Or you got a
Yeah, I
Browns
think you
upset?
gotta be. I think you gotta be. I mean, if you're talking about money line now, 3.5. I took the Browns at +4, just because it's Steelers coming off a divisional win
Yeah,
where
big one.
they were a dog, and now they're a favorite. I can't remember the record for Tomlin playing back-to-back divisional games where he was an underdog in the first game and a favorite in the second game. I don't think his record's that good. So I'm just playing the numbers here. Just straight up, like, obviously the Steelers are the better team, but you can't tell when it comes to these division games, especially Browns at home. And
Yeah.
Jameis, the wild card, he could go off for another 400-yard game.
Put a banger together. Yeah, I got Steelers here too. All right, Sunday we got leading off at 1:00 slate. We got the Vikings going to Chicago to play the Bears. I could see the Bears winning this though.
Yeah, give me the Bears. I think the Vikings are due for a stinker.
Yeah, they've been hot, won 3 in a row. I'll take the Bears here too. All right, what about the Lions going to Indianapolis to play the Colts?
Dude,
You
I'm
know what's
taking.
crazy?
Go ahead.
I could say the Colts could
Nah,
fuck it up.
I'm hammering the fucking Lions for the rest of the year. I don't care. I know they're probably not going to run the table, but I mean, after the last 3-4 weeks of watching them, like, fucking give me the Lions all day, every
Yeah.
day.
All right, fair. I got Lions too, but I could see the Colts playing a good game here. All right, we got the Patriots going in division down to the Dolphins. Tua's been hot. Patriots. I could also see the Patriots. The Patriots
Give
at
me
least
Patriots.
cover here.
Give me
Yeah,
Patriots.
Patriots cover. I'm going Dolphins, but Patriots cover.
Yeah, give me Patriots cover.
I like that. All right, the Buccaneers go up to New York to play the. What's his name? Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Led Giants.
Yeah,
Got the Bucs
Buccaneers here. Buccaneers.
Mike Evans return.
The
I do
Giants
like
are
that.
done.
Yeah, I like that boy Tyrone Tracy, but the Giants are cooked, bro. All right, in our division, we got the Cowboys going to the Commanders. Give me Jaden Daniels.
Washington's a 10-point favorite.
10 is a lot.
That seems like a lot to me.
But the Cowboys have lost by 20 plus points the last 3 games.
Yeah. Give me Commanders.
Commanders. All right. We got the Chiefs going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Give me
I'll take Chiefs. Chiefs
10.5.
I'll take Chiefs at 14.
Yeah, fair. I like that. I got Chiefs as well. Titans go on down to Houston to play the Texans. 7.5. I think 7.5 is fair there too.
Yeah, give me Texans to cover.
It's free money this weekend. Lord. All right, 4:05 kickoff. We've got the Broncos going to Vegas to play the Raiders. On the road.
I'm saying Broncos win, but Raiders cover. I think it's a field goal.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm.
It's a divisional game. These divisional games are tricky, man.
Yeah,
they really are.
Broncos need this one too to stay on pace and keep that 7 seed.
They'll win. They'll win.
All right, 4:25. We got the 49ers going up to Green Bay to play the Packers. Green Bay is a 2-point favorite.
Give me the Niners. I think the Niners win this game. I think they bounce back. Like you were talking about earlier, I don't think Jordan Love. I think he's a little bit overrated. I don't think the Packers are as good as everybody thinks they are. Give me the Niners. I think the Niners have to have a bounce back game this week. They go 5-6. It's going to straight up demoralize that team that's been very good for the last 2 years. So I feel like this is a desperation spot for the Niners. They have to have this game. They must win.
Yeah, I agree. 49ers must win. I think Packs due for a loss, especially with the last
Especially
couple
after
weeks.
that Bears game.
Yeah, I think they're due. I'd say Niners here. The Niners. All right, another 4:25 game. We've got the Arizona Cardinals interdivision going to play the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks 2-4 at home. Arizona opens up as a 1-point favorite, or is a 1-point favorite. Cardinals 2-2 on the road.
Give me Seahawks. I'm taking Seahawks.
I'm gonna take Cardinals here. Pull away 7-4. All right,
I'd like to see
8:20.
that. I'd like to see that, honestly.
That's what I'm hoping for.
My gut's just telling me Seahawks are going to come out and
they need it. They know they need it.
Divisional game, yes, they have to have this game.
They have to have it
if they want to win a division.
All right, 8:20 Sunday night game. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles going cross country to play the Rams. Philadelphia is a 3-point favorite. I don't know what it is about Stafford and the guys. They scare me.
I was gonna say I don't know how to like read the Rams at all.
Yeah.
Because they played Miami 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, there's no way they lose to this team, and they fucking lose. Yeah. And then this coming week they played, or this past week, who'd they play? They played. They played the Patriots. And I was like, well, there's no way that, and they won that game. So I don't know how to read them at this point. I don't know. Give me Philly.
I got Philly, but even though
they have to go cross country, I feel like that's the factor. They got to go cross country.
Sunday night, though, basically, they had a mini bye because they played last Thursday, so they got an extra half week rest.
Yeah, give me Philly.
I got Philly. All right, Monday night, the Harbaugh Bowl. We've got the Baltimore Ravens going cross country to play the Chargers. Baltimore is a 3-point favorite as it sits, but Baltimore is a 3-3 on the road. Chargers 4-1 at home. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
I'll go Baltimore. I don't think they lose back-to-back games.
Yeah. It would be fun, though, if they did. It would be fun. All right. There's your picks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm rolling 56 minutes. I had some things I wanted to get off my chest, but as it sits now, Kansas City 1 seed, Buffalo 2 seed, Pittsburgh 3 seed, Houston 4 seed, Chargers 5 seed, Baltimore 6 seed, and Denver 7 seed. And that's the AFC. The NFC, Detroit, Philly, Arizona, Atlanta, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Washington. As it sits right now, you guys would open up against Minnesota Falcons. Lord. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest?
I mean, we already did I will never, ever in my life, ever watch another Jake Paul fight again. Not that I did before, but the only reason why I watched it is because it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that was the only really thing on sporting-wise that night. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll put it on, I'll tune in just to see, because I thought, maybe it would be a fair fight and we get to see, Tyson, one last hoorah for Tyson and see him, ride off into the sunset with at least having given a decent performance. But my God, was I sorely mistaken. First of all, Netflix, what the fuck was that? The app wouldn't even stay open. I had to refresh it like 25 times. It crashed. And even when it came on, it was all pixelated and shit. I couldn't even tell what was going on. And so I ended up having to watch it on somebody else's stream. That's how bad it was. I wasn't even on Netflix watching it. I was watching it on somebody else's stream. And then we actually have some pretty decent fights. The first two were all right. The third one with the girls, that was actually a really
Yeah.
good fight.
Yeah.
And then we get to the main event, and it was a absolute clown show. Jake Paul comes out riding a fucking electric vehicle or whatever, making a fucking spectacle of himself like he always does. And then Tyson comes in, they do their thing, and it's like, okay, maybe they're actually going to fight. For the first couple rounds, it looked like, it looked like Tyson was getting a couple punches in on him, but I know you've seen a lot of the TikToks and shit, and it seemed like he started pulling his punches after the first like 2 or 3 rounds. Is like Tyson,
Yeah.
and people were saying, "Oh, he's 68 or he's 58, he's tired," blah blah blah, and that might have been true, but I also feel like he was holding back quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and rewatch some of the highlights, he was pulling his punches, he was biting his glove, telling himself, oh, you can't fucking punch him. It was just a money grab. It was a cash grab.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And I'm done with the sport of boxing. Like, don't ever ask me to watch another boxing match ever again. I'm strictly UFC, and that's it.
The thing that blows my mind is like, you could see it in like round 1 that Tyson was going for the knockout, and then it was like, you could say he's gassed, or you could say like maybe there was a clause like, I don't know, first round knockout, or I have to go the full 8. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, I feel like it has to go 8. I mean, it was only 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it was have to go 8 rounds to get your full 20 mil or whatever he got paid. And it was just, it was just pathetic to watch.
I felt bad for Mike, for real.
Well, I did too.
He took the fight. He took the fight, but I also feel like he could have done better. I feel like he wasn't given the opportunity. It wasn't like a actual boxing match. It was hey, we got to put on a show. Yeah.
So don't knock me out, and you'll get your money. And so like Jake Paul, I have zero respect for Jake Paul. The only thing I'll give him props for is that he knows how to market himself, and he knows how to get people interested in something. But he's not a real boxer. The only time he fought a real boxer was Tommy Fury, and he ended up getting beat. And so from now on, he's going to fight a bunch of old dudes that are washed. I'm just like, I'm just done. I miss the days whenever it was actually competitive. Whenever got like the Tyson Furies and the
Canelo.
The Deontay Wilders and the Canelo and Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Yeah.
Now there's nobody. I mean, Gervonta Davis.
He's a bitch too.
So I'm saying Ryan Garcia, fucking cokehead.
Gone crazy. Yeah,
he's
gone
fucking
crazy.
Crackhead. So it's like the sport of boxing is down bad right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead. Yeah, it was a shit show. I felt bad for Mike. You could tell he's just like, fucking, this was stupid. This was so dumb.
Well, he got his money, so.
Yeah, it won't be done when the paycheck clears. Fuck it. All right, well, let's get off of here. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. We appreciate you for listening. Do us a favor, like, comment, share, subscribe, especially if you enjoyed the episode. Say something about it. Tell us about it. Tell us how we can be better. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Peace.